they have lost count with their body. They are like, okay, I have been a mother, I did that, I worked a lot, I didn't give myself time to buy a beautiful bra. And my work is not to push and let them buy anything. My work is to really find the right piece for them.
Welcome, bienvenue, bonjour to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. For women who desire to awaken their heartfelt desires, trust themselves fully, and connect with their soul's purpose through beauty. On y va. Let's go. Hello, bonjour, and welcome to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. This is Tara Marino, and do I have an interview for you? I'm so excited to introduce you to Paloma, the jeweler of lingerie. She had lace and linen makers as her great-grandmothers, an artisan father, and a stylist mother. Paloma's steps were firmly grounded on the family's creative path. And after training in prestigious Parisian lingerie houses in 2012, at 23 years old, Paloma launched her extraordinary brand, Paloma Casile. 10 years later, she was awarded the esteemed Maitre Artisan d'Art title, bringing her recognizable edge to traditional techniques. Paloma's creations form a unique universe made of delicate Calais lace, graphic lines, and signature metallic clasps. So Calais lace is one of the most beautiful French laces ever. So I would love to share with you this stunning woman. I have come to know Paloma over the years. She is so real. She is so authentic. She has created a brand that is beautiful and timeless and also edgy. So I'm excited for you to dive into this interview. She is incredibly vulnerable about her own struggles growing up, about the ways that she felt disconnected and the ways with which she treated herself and criticized herself growing up that supported her in formulating this extraordinary lingerie brand and healing herself through it. So enjoy. And do we have a package for you? So listen all the way to the end. We have something extraordinary to share with you. Enjoy this interview. Can I just say, I love this woman. And maybe you've been following All an Elegant Femme. You know my obsession with lingerie. And you might already know my obsession with this particular designer. I was fortunate enough to have a call with her recently for the Elegant Femme community, and we went into all things design and beauty and femininity and lingerie and body image. And I decided, you know what? I want to have her on the podcast so that we can actually take it deeper. And yes, of course, talk about her extraordinary success in the lingerie world and what she's creating and the element of beauty that she connects with for women, but also a little bit more behind the scenes of what it is like for her as a woman, how she's grown, and what it is that's meaningful to her inside of her beautiful soul-led life. So I would like to formally introduce this beautiful woman in front of me, Paloma Casile. If you happen to be on video and you're watching us on YouTube, you get to see us. If you're listening in audio, I will tell you that this woman is edgy. She's wearing this beautiful black turtleneck. She has these glasses on, and we can't see them now, although we can a little. Oh, she just backed up. So we can see this beautiful Paloma lingerie, and she has these gorgeous designs that are cutting edge. They're sexy, and yet they're classic. So just to paint a little image of this beautiful one for you. So Paloma, welcome to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast.
Merci beaucoup, Tara. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
I know. I'm so excited to have you here. And, right before we even pressed record, I was sharing with you my intention in bringing you on and really taking a look behind the scenes. And one of the beautiful things that you said to me was, I think it's important for women to know that there's not just the perfection that goes on, that there's struggle, that there's intensity, that there's challenge. And I feel like, not that we're wanting to, any of us, get stuck in the story of challenge. It's not about that. But I do think that part of our beautiful soul-led life is about living into and through those difficult moments. So I would love, and it doesn't need to be a difficult moment, but maybe just significant moment to start with. So what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was saying that So I won a contest when I was 23 years old. I had no idea what I was getting into. It was very hard to start a business when you have no business skill, when you think you don't have business skills, because it's something in the brain that also that you need to put yourself in those shoes, and it's all a job like this. But the thing was, when I started, I thought I see everyone succeed around me. I was like looking at business stories and stuff, and I always heard people saying how great it was and how easy it looked, because after you're behind the scene, you know it's not, and it's never. And I think it's really important to normalize that, because then when you feel the struggle, when you launch the business and everything, you remember that it's not just you and it's not just because of you, but it's normal, and also it's part of the path to go through all this, and makes you a better person and make you a better business person, but also a better designer and everything. And it's like all the walk you go through all the stages, and it's really important to go through that, even if it's hard.
It's so true. It's so true. So I would love for my audience who doesn't know you, because this is fascinating what you just said. You were 23. Like, I think right now I have a 20-year-old son who's going to be 21. And I think to myself, what? I mean, 23, Paloma, is so young. So can you share with my audience just a little bit of the significance of you growing up and what really supported you in moving into this direction of entering even this contest?
So for the story, I was really, really bad in my skin for a very long time. Growing up was very hard for me. I was always feeling like I was an outsider. I never really found the place I was. It was very difficult. I was a little bullied because I was this really original person dressing up crazy. And when you're growing up, it's not something very easy to go through. So yeah, I was really trying to find myself. I had no idea what I was good at. I was really in something a bit dark for a long time, and I had no idea what to do with my life. And my parents said, "Oh, we know this wedding gown designer. You could do an internship," because we had in France, you have to have an internship during when you're in college. So I went to this thing, and it was so natural for me. I was designing, choosing the fabrics and everything. And I said, okay, maybe I have to go and do fashion, because my two parents are fashion designers. And as you have teenage kids, you
Yeah.
know, when you're a kid, you don't want to do what your parents do.
No.
So there was no way I wanted to go in fashion. And I remember entering that school and being surrounded by such crazy personalities. And I was so lost. But I was very good at pattern designing. And I was really precise and really, I love all the structure and the calculation and everything. And I was really good at this. And so my teacher looked at me and said, you should do lingerie, because lingerie is the most difficult thing. And anyway, if you want to work in any industry, if you want to go to luxury, or if you want to go to haute couture, lingerie would be a very good asset for you. I lived at Lyon. I was living in Lyon at that time. I just took my suitcase, went to Paris. During my holidays, I worked for 2 months in a lingerie elastic brand, designing elastics. So I started to know a bit about all this. And then I arrived to Paris, and I remember sitting down and started doing the patterns of a bodysuit. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do all my life. I remember the light, I remember everything. And I don't know, it just hit me at that time. And it was so intense. And then it was so, you know how sometimes you don't know how you know those things? Like,
Yeah.
it was so natural for me doing that. And I didn't really ask myself questions. I was just doing, and things just went together. And at this moment, everybody started looking at me and say, wow, it's really cool what you're doing. You're really good. And I'm like, really? Is it true? And I remember passing through these years, like doing, okay, but are you sure? Okay, okay. And I was really, really intense and really passionate about lingerie. And I started learning everything, looking at all the collection. I started being crazy lingerie addict. And like the passion like went inside me, and I could not get out of it. So yeah, and then when you do your final, you present a collection. I won a golden needle for my work, so it was quite exciting. And then Chantal Thomas hired me as an intern for my last year internship. So I went there 6 months. I stayed another month to help her for the lingerie show. And I didn't know what to do. I wanted to start working, but it's, when you start in fashion, it's always a bit complicated. So you have to go through a lot and lot of interviews and stuff. So it was quite complicated. And at that time, the school called me and said, okay, there's a contest that is taking place in Bretagne, and you should do it. And I was like, oh, no, I'm never going to win it. And I just been accepted at Cadol, which is the little daughter of the inventor of the bra. So it was very, very intense time there. And I was so excited. And I said, I don't want to lose time. I don't want to do something else. I'm really doing that. And then the school said, no matter, we send your dossier, we send it there. And I got a call. I was having lunch with my father, and and they just said, okay, we want to see you for an interview to look at your design and your work. We will be really interested to have you on the contest. And I was like, okay. So yeah, and then I presented my work, and they said, okay. So we were 4 girls, and we had 1 month to do a full collection for a catwalk and a little showroom with only professional. There was women's wear, men's wear, lingerie, accessories. Like, I worked day and night. I was working at Cadol, and it was really intense. And I remember arriving there, and everybody was looking at me saying, oh, you're so good, it's so great, and everything. And I was like, okay. I didn't really believe it. Was something really, for me, really strange. And then they said I won, and I just could not believe it. And for a long time after that, I was really like, really, is that happening for true? Yeah. One of the prize was to expose at the lingerie show. It's a show that takes place for professional to show your collection. I had 2 months to do all my collection, do all the samples, think about the pricing and everything. I was a bit lost. Thankfully, my parents could help me like this. It was really interesting. I had that luck with me that they knew what they were doing, and they could help me figuring everything out, even if you never have everything figured out. I worked as a fashion designer, but I never, like, doing pricing, knowing all the marketing stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just showing pieces, and people were like, it's really good. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I had my first delivery was, I think, my first orders were from the US market, actually, the first that believed in me. And I think I had sort of around 200 pieces ordered that I made in my living room. At the time, I was living in a bedroom apartment in Paris, and I cried so much during that time. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
And I made the thing. And then I went to a factory the year after because it was not possible to do that on my own. But I remember, so starting when you don't really know what you do, because I had no idea what I was doing at first. I didn't prepare anything. People make business plan. They plan everything. They think about. I had no idea. I just had products and passion and stuff. And I just arrived in the business. And we were talking about this last time. Before my first collection, I presented to a very famous person in the lingerie business, and he told me that what I was doing was like very bad. You remember that story I was telling you, yes? And he said, like, nobody's gonna buy this. This is too much. This is too like this, or this is too like that. And every year he comes by the booth, because we do this show every year. Since been 11 years now. And yeah, every year he's like, oh, you're still there. I'm like, yeah.
I love this. Okay, I love so much about your story. So again, I want all of us to remember you were in your early 20s. I mean, not only did you not know about business, but I mean, you're just learning about life at this stage. So this awakening, this something that opened up inside of you that said, I like this. This is meaningful to me. Like, it's doing something inside of me, that you gave yourself permission to even consider that you could allow this in your life,
I think it was more naive than that. I just think I didn't thought it through. I just did it. And because I was that young, I was not planning on anything. I was just like, okay, I have this opportunity. Let's do it. Sometimes when I look back, I was like, okay, so I had nothing planned. I was just, okay, people want my product. Let's do lingerie. I think the first year I was quite in between burned out and denial. And because I think it took also that time to see who I wanted to be, what story I wanted to tell, how I wanted my brand to look like. And when you are took in the business, like when I had production to do, I had factories to handle, I had money, there was money issue. There's always money issue when
Yeah.
you start a business. And like problem with the fabrics and stuff. So I had so much to think about. I never had that time. It took me 5 years to stop and say, okay, I'm not happy. This is not bringing me joy anymore. What should I do to bring this and like making it be the thing I'm going to do my whole life? Really like trying to take step behind and who I am. I have to put myself and believing in me because if I don't, nobody's going to believe in me. If I don't believe I can make it. So I need to like stop and rewrite everything. I did on my own. I did all the website on my own. I tried to like do the inspiration and stuff. I really worked really a lot with a goal at the end. Like, okay, this is the step I want to go to be in. But this was like, it took me 5 years. So it was really long before I
Yeah.
took that decision.
You know, see, you're talking now too about the evolution that happens in business. And one of the things that I really want to highlight that I think is really important for all of us to remember is what you're talking about in the beginning, where there was just this passion and this calling and this connection, and you didn't have the answers and you didn't know what you were doing, but you didn't let that stop you, and you didn't have a plan. So many of us are taught that the way that we are to be successful is to have the plan. And we talk about this, I'm talking about this right now a lot inside of Elegant Femme, because I talk about the difference between a conventional plan and an unconventional path, where we're just called. And sometimes it looks like crazy. It looks like doesn't make any sense, but we're connected with our soul.
Yeah.
We're connected with a deeper conversation. And what I'm hearing you say, that in the beginning, that's what it was. It wasn't perfect. You didn't have the plan, but you had a passion and you had a longing and you had a part of you that just wanted to express itself
Yeah.
through the lingerie.
Yeah. And also, I really wanted to do my best. It looks a bit like naive again, but it was really the thing I really wanted to do the best I could. And yeah, it was really like, and all the story is around this, like making the best piece, making the best design, and thinking about that was really my idea more than anything else. I really wanted to find a way to go and write a love letter to lingerie, because lingerie is connected to women and your self-image and everything. So everything was wrapped into, and I think I was also trying to heal myself by doing that.
This is a really important part, because I know you and I have had private conversations about this. Both of us have built our brands from that place of deep desire inside, deep connection, an expression of who we are, and we have healed ourselves through this conversation of creating something meaningful in the world. It wasn't just this idea that you had that you said, okay, it was a healing, it was a connection, there was an intimacy between you and the lingerie and the expression. So can you talk to us a little bit more about that? I know you said growing up you went through like some dark times. It was feeling, you didn't feel like you really fit in, you felt like a separation. So what for you was healing about allowing yourself to create these beautiful pieces? And we'll talk later, because I know they're also comfortable and like this whole thing, but more, can you talk to me about the intimacy of what it was like for you, Paloma, to pour yourself into these pieces this way?
I think at first I was hiding behind that because as a designer, I was not showing myself. I was not really talking. I was really like behind the scene. So designing is also a self-expression. And when I started designing, I was really designing for myself because at first when I always loved lingerie. And I was really in front of this idea when you go through the lingerie business that you have what we say lingerie de jour, which means day lingerie, and night lingerie, which like being always too plain or too sexy. And I really wanted to try to find a way, because I think when we are women, we are so every day and every hour we can be a different person.
Yes.
Our personality evolve and everything. We are not always the same. We don't want always the same thing. But one of the first thing we want is to feel comfortable in ourselves. So I was really like trying to put that together, like being creative enough and cool enough when you look at it and saying, okay, wow, that's really different. And I haven't seen that in any other brand. And also wearing it, I said, okay, I never been that good in a bra. And I always said, like, if you want to conquer the world, you really need to feel good in your clothes because you're wearing them. And if they itch, if you're like tight somewhere or anything, you're going to think about it, and you're not going to think about what you do and what you have to do. So this was my first idea, and I was hiding behind that because at that time I was really also uncomfortable in my skin. I had problem also with my femininity, my sexuality and everything. I was really struggling deciding who I was and what I wanted to do, and being into that design, like it was just like I'm going to say things by my creation that I cannot already process in my life and in my head.
Mhm.
And I started like this. And then, I had to, because I had to put myself first and to start showing myself. We are in an era of Instagram and showing things. And I had to go through this if I wanted to continue to design. So I had to do that. And this was a second step of the healing, like assuming that I am the one design behind the design, that I'm wearing them, that I'm proud of them, explaining and really being the image of the brand also. So this was a second thing to work with. And maybe I forgot also, maybe when we opened the store and I started doing the sales, that was also a big step for me, because hearing women talk about themselves and seeing how hard we are on our body and our image, and how difficult it is to go, like, when you listen to people, I had so much empathy, and I was like, you cannot talk to yourself like this. And then I was going home and talking to myself like this. So this was also a very good step for me, like to learn about how you talk to yourself, and also like bringing the best energy in it, and like saying, okay, this is what I want to do. No, I'm going to talk to myself better. I'm going to be proud of what I did. Take 2 or 3 steps away from all the problem of having a company, and just like, okay, breathe, say, okay, I'm proud, I did that. It's a lot of work. It's like sometimes like saying, okay, you did well, bravo. Like it's very good. And this is a lot of healing, because I'm saying that laughingly now, and I'm like, okay, it takes a long time and it's not always that easy.
Yeah. There's a consistent remembering of ourselves because, in business and in life, we reach a level of success. Like, for example, you won the contest and then you have the défilé with everyone and then you have the store. And so there's these different levels that we can sometimes take one moment and say, okay, I did good. But then it's like the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So it really is that consistent anchoring in the conversation inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also overwhelming a lot. And
Yeah.
it's not always easy to process everything, because then I had employees and people are counting on me, and I cannot break down. And when things you just have to put them in your, your emotional baggage, and put things like, okay, the fabric is not there. Okay, I have this problem. Okay, we don't have enough money. Okay, this problem is handled. And you have to be like, okay, let's handle things. And I'm still a creative person. I'm still very disorganized and very in the moment thing. It's very difficult for me to like process things. So yeah, it's a lot of work. You need to go back to yourself, like, and
Yeah.
really to take that time. And most of the time I don't do it, and I regret it every time. So like also part of growing is taking step back and like saying, okay, this is a lot. I need like a pause. I need to think about what I'm designing. I need to think about who I am. I really need that time. And this is very, very difficult to do. And I'm trying to like take time for myself, because if you want to be a better designer or even a better human being, you really need to have time to rest. And it's very difficult with the life we all have to rest and take time to say, okay. And also when you're really caught up in, I have a store, people are coming in the store, we have inside the store, we have the atelier. So I'm handling the production, the atelier, the people going on in the store, the phone, the thing. So I'm a bit in the middle of all this, like a lot of noises and stimulation and stuff. And sometimes it's also very good for me to just stay home and try to work a bit from home. So yeah, no, being a business person, it's intense, but it's also so rewarding and so nice. And I think it's why we're doing it at the end, because we have something to say. And I'm very happy about, I'm also very happy about all this, even if I'm really tired. But it's, yeah.
See, this is one of the things I love about you. It's so real. It's so raw. It's so, yes, there are highs and lows and ins and outs and it's a lot and it's also amazing and we love it and we choose it again and again. And one of the things I want to bring forward is I feel like every business, every true authentic business, there's a conversation happening underneath the surface between the brand and the clients, between the brand and the product. And one of the things that you and I really love is the conversation itself that lingerie offers. And I don't know if I ever told you, I think maybe I told you, but in the very beginning of my own healing journey, after I lost my son, how I first started healing is I was sketching lingerie. And I was naming the lingerie pieces, the indie, the Frenchie, and the New Yorker. So everything I teach inside of Elegant Femme internally first started with me sketching lingerie and then finding the lingerie that I felt like, oh, now I'm in my indie. Okay, now I'm in my Frenchie. It all started with the lingerie. So for me, this is something that you and I really deeply have an appreciation for, the conversation that lingerie offers, because it's not just, putting something random on in the morning. It's for us, for you and I both, I believe it's really intentional. So I would love for you to share more about anything that you want to, really, about the conversation that you feel lingerie offers for us as women, because obviously there's the body image, there's the luxury, there's the comfort, there's the, is it okay for me to wear this? When I put on these beautiful pieces that you've made that are so luxurious and beautiful, like I feel different inside. I can see myself in this image of beauty and femininity and expression. And it takes permission for us to give that to ourselves. So anything you want to share, Paloma, on all of this?
I don't know if you remember, maybe I showed it to you, I don't know. I illustrated a book about lingerie. And the first question Catherine, that wrote the book, told me was, what's your first memory with lingerie? And I was like, oh, my mom, she bought me in this Orcanta shop, which is a very, very, like, it's a chain, but very, like, very nice. And I got myself measured and I bought this little pink bra with little flowers because I was very young. And I kept it all over the years. And I had this beautiful memory. And she told me, she's Canadian and she lived in the US for a very long time. And she told me, oh, my mom bought me at the supermarket and she just pulled out like a bra in the middle of everyone buying groceries and put it in front of me and said, oh, it's your size, and just throw it in it. We all have our first, and this is significant part of how you were introduced to lingerie. And the story start there. I don't know how your first bra was, buying your first bra, if you remember.
Well, it's funny you say this because so we lived in a little mountain town. So we were very far from any kind of department store. And I don't really remember the significant moment, but I remember the conversation. And I believe my mom got me bras at like Macy's or something like this. I wasn't there when she got that. She brought them home, but they were very pretty silk satin. And it was a beautiful and she bought it for me. And it was a beautiful conversation. Like, I want you to have something beautiful. I remember that most of my girlfriends, they would say that they were getting a training bra. This
Yeah,
is what they called it. Think about this idea. First of all, think about that idea.
yeah.
A training bra? Like, it was more of the idea of like a sports bra or something you're training, not something beautiful that you get to experience, more like, I feel like and I could be wrong, but given what my girlfriend shared with me and even what I've learned from my clients, the American idea was more something to be hidden.
Yeah.
It was more like, okay, now you're starting to get breasts, so like, we have to do something about this. Like, everybody, like, let's fix this situation, right? Let's train this. Not like a celebration, you
And
know?
this story on us has a very big impact. It's like
Yeah.
how your parents loved and taught you how to love. How love is taught to you by looking, is taught to you by looking at other people. And everything is about the first time. And when you think about it, most of the people that are very lingerie enthusiasts have a first memory that's very good. And other people that don't have a good memory did decide at one time maybe have a lover that like really love lingerie and bring them into, but most of the time they didn't give themselves the authorization, the time to go and buy lingerie because they don't feel like it. And it's really, really intense for me to think about that. I
You're
always love.
giving me like, like, I get emotional about it because it's deep. You're right. It's so deeply impactful. And I mean, I've had these conversations so often, Paloma, but I don't think I ever really like felt the little girl,
Yeah,
that it makes me like really emotional, you know?
absolutely. It's really important to think about that because when people come in the store and tell me that they are uncomfortable with lingerie and they want to have a very beautiful bra, most of the time it's they have lost count with their body. They are like, okay, I have been a mother, I did that, I worked a lot, I didn't give myself time to buy a beautiful bra. And my work is not to push and let them buy anything. My work is to really find the right piece for them. So
Yeah.
we talk a lot, I make them try things, and it's really, really fun because most of the time people come in with an idea very precise of what yes and what no. And sometimes I don't push. I'm like, okay, me, I think you will be very beautiful in this one, but let's try other things. And in the end, I'm 80% of the time right. But yeah, it's really interesting to talk and to see how the comfortable. And when you try on lingerie, you have those super silly pose you have to do, like put your hands up,
Mm.
move to see if the bra fits right, go front and go and just like do all this movement. If you're not on the video, you won't see me like moving,
Yeah.
but it's like all this silly move you have to do to see if you're well. And they're like, oh, I never heard about this. So yeah, but it's because the bride's going to move with you. It's going to live with you. You're going to wear it like all the time. You need to be sure you're very comfortable in it. So you need to move and to do like more even ridiculous movement, but you feel yourself in it and you see if you embody it and you're feeling well. And I said,
Yes.
and you look at yourself. And then when I see women change the way they look at themselves and looking at themselves, like, wow. And most of the time, this is my funniest story. I had this woman saying she bought a bra and she said, I think my husband's going to think I have an affair because I haven't bought myself a bra for years. And I was like, no, this is not an affair thing. It's just like with yourself, like treating
Yes.
yourself with it. If the person that loves you is happy with it, it's good in the end. But the thing is, you have to do it for yourself first. It's always helpful when the other person loves lingerie and looks at you with like the sparkles in their eyes. But
Yeah.
in the end, you need to look at yourself with those sparkles in the eyes, and it needs to be something that is really important to you. And yesterday we had a huge lingerie party. I have a party every year where all the women come in lingerie. We are all women. It's a very fun party. It's a very like a love yourself party. And there was this girl that I know for years, and she said, "Oh, you know me. I always like cotton panty. I love bras, but I'm just like not wearing like anything. And I say, yeah, but it's okay. Great for you if you're happy. And at the end of the party, she said, oh, I really like that lacy thing.
Yeah.
And then she tried it on and she went with it, and we joked about it because she said, no, but now seeing everybody like we're wearing lace and things and stuff, I was like, okay, I think I have the space now to see
Yes.
myself in it. And what's beautiful with lingerie, if you don't have to share it with nobody, because with a turtleneck and a jeans, nobody will know. So it's something with yourself. So this is also for me a huge power, is like you can choose to show it and you can choose not to show it. So if you want to wear sweatpants and a beautiful lingerie
Yes.
underneath, you'll be the only one to know about it.
Yes. I mean, and this again is the intimacy of the conversation, because the conversation is with ourselves.
Yeah.
If we choose to experience and express the external conversation with someone else, great, beautiful, right? But really, the intimacy in the conversation is first and foremost with ourselves. And this is what I know you do, because I've been in your store now many times. I've had my own experience there. And just in hearing you with your clients, you witness a transformation of women giving themselves permission to experience themselves as beautiful.
Yes. And it doesn't, I know the 90s were very rough on women image. I think we are starting to go through with self-love. It's a long, long, long path. You need to go through a lot of things before feeling good in yourself. And it's not an everyday thing. I also have times where I'm not happy with myself and I don't feel comfortable in my body. I'm not waking up every day saying, oh, how great I am. This is not true. But the thing is, I think it's really, really a work on yourself, and it's taking time also to treat yourself. Like, also, it doesn't have to be lingerie. It can be a new haircut. It can be putting on makeup. It could be anything you want, or not putting on makeup. Like it, everybody has a way to feel better in yourself, and it can just like take time and just have a nap. This can be
I was
self-love.
going to say, even rest,
Yeah,
like you brought forward. It's this, again, we're coming back to the essence of permission, like giving ourselves permission to experience and express ourselves in a way that allows us to feel good.
yeah,
And that's a
absolutely.
lingerie is a part of this conversation. I know, and I want every woman to know really that if you're seeking an experience of deeper awareness of your body, if you're feeling a calling to not just experiment, but really have a reflection of yourself in a new way, I'm going to encourage you to go to see Paloma. If you're near Paris, of course, to go to her store. And I know we have something special that we're going to share with you that she's doing for the Elegant Femme community that she's extending for all of us. So we're going to share that in a minute. I think, Paloma, let me see. Is there anything else on your heart that you want to share about this conversation, either about your own personal journey or anything that you would like our audience to know?
It's always a so difficult question. I don't know. First of all, thank you again. I really love when we talk together. I am so disorganized in my way of talking.
I want to say this to you because when I'm with you and when you and I are in either talking like this in public, with people, or I don't see you as disorganized. I see you as like open to having whatever conversation is present. It's one of the things that I love about you so, so much is that you go there with me,
Yeah, and
you know?
maybe it's the thing I have to say is that I try to welcome anybody in the store, just listening to them and bringing them what they need. It's really important for me. Maybe because I was never looked at I didn't had that for me when I was going through my teenage years and everybody was looking at me as I was completely weird and stuff. So I do believe it's my way of healing that, like
Mm,
welcoming anybody. I started designing lingerie for women, but I don't have any gender thing. Like we dress anyone that wants to wear lingerie. And as we have also this atelier and we have the sur mesure and the tailor, we can tailor anything. And I really want everybody to feel welcome and to feel good in the store. And I'm trying to help what I can. When I do shopping, I hate those people that force you to buy stuff and everything. And I think it's completely, I don't care. I'm not doing that. I really love also to hear the story about all the people that comes in the store. It's so interesting. And as we moved a year and maybe nearly 2 years ago, we moved to that new location in Paris, and now everything is together. The atelier, my office, and the store, everything is in the same space. And it's really, really nice for me and inspirational for me to talk to the women and the people that wear my lingerie. And
Yeah.
I think they help me designing stuff, because when I look at the diversity of the people that comes in my store, and that's super intense for me, because I'm super happy to design for people that are so different, and
Yeah.
every story is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, this is a beautiful thing for us to mention to the audience as well. It's like, because you have sur mesure, because you have the atelier in the back. So for everyone to explain, so she has a little shop that I've been in. I've been in a couple of times in the back of the shop, and I seen her first sewing machine from school, which like she makes a little alteration on my panties with her first sewing machine. It makes me so happy. It makes me feel so special. So she has this in the back, and also it's like, you have so many different sizes, and so, because I think one thing we didn't really touch on specifically is one of the biggest fears I know women have is, my body isn't perfect, it doesn't look like it does on the magazines, and so therefore it's not okay for me to wear lingerie, like this idea that it's supposed to be some perfect body shape. And I know for you don't believe this. I know for you that you have sizes and shapes and like beautiful things that look gorgeous on everybody, on every type of
Maybe
body, you
I
know?
always say that to people, and it's always that, it's in fashion, like clothes or lingerie or anything. They are objects. They don't have feelings or anything. Their job is to fit on you, and your
Mm.
job is not to fit in it. It's not how it works. So I know sometimes it's frustrating, because we have a range of size that is quite big, but it's not. We have to do custom made sometimes, because it's like, I already would have how many size? We go from extra small to 4XL, and then from bra we go from A to G for the moment.
I want to pause you there and tell everybody how extraordinary that is, because for my first collection, I had some lingerie pieces. It is incredible to size a bra in that many sizes. The R&D, the research and development that goes into each specific, people don't understand. I think they look at a bra and a panty and they say, oh, it's just this little thing. Oh my goodness, the time, the energy, the customization that goes into fitting each piece in that many sizes, Paloma, it's extraordinary.
So yeah, the thing was, it took me 2 years to go to E-cup to like perfect all the sizes by making them test worn by so many different people and different, like, we had a lot of work done. And then for F and G, I know E in US is double D, so yeah, and F and G was, we hired people to help us, because it's completely another way of making. When you go from A to D, it's a logic way of working. When you go to E, everything is larger. And then to F, and then to G, because you need the bra to look the same, but it's not the same. All the structure, all the lining, everything changed. So it's a new bra you're making that has nothing to do with the other one, but has to look like the other
Yeah.
one. So it's
Yeah.
really, really tricky. And sometimes it's a bit frustrating, I know, because I really want to be as inclusive as possible, but it's not always possible to have that much stock in the store. And we are all different, and we all have different needs and everything. So we do a lot of adjustable bra. There's lots of our
Mhm.
bra that are adjustable, so they can fit on 2 or 3 different sizes, because
Yeah.
also our body change. So we have to have this adaptability. I'm working on also, when you come in the store, it's easier, because we can adapt on yourself. We adapt on like all sizes, because even in one sizes, you are not always fitting right. So we have to like stitch and to put back. When you go out with the bra, it's perfect on you. I know if you buy online, it's a bit more complicated, but I am on Instagram, and I pass my day to answer questions and to help people find their right size. It's also my job. So I've been learning it for 11 years. And I can also go through, like, we have calls, we have things with customer. We're trying to make our best pieces in this, because I do think when you design luxury, you need to have the best fit and the best thing, and it's a lot of work. So we're trying to do our best to be more inclusive, and every year I'm trying to like bring more sizes. We also on our website had a lot of send us your size for all the body accessory, for example, so it can be custom made. Anything can be custom made.
See, this is incredible. So, of course, going into the store is a magical experience. And I also know not everyone is going to be able to go to the store. So I do want to talk about, I found you online. I bought, I think, my first, I don't know, maybe like 6 pieces online. So I also do want to, from my own experience, express the confidence of buying online and knowing that you're there and your team's there and that the women can send in the measurements and that there are certain also pieces, like you're saying, that are very flexible. So the bras have the adjustable, the panties have the adjustable, the bodysuits have so many different like ways in the front and in the back and around the tush. So cute. Like you can tighten it and the lace gets all like, oh, it's so cute. So I want women to know too that buying online, I feel very confident with as well. I think it's important for women to know that because it can feel scary to buy anything online, let alone lingerie. But you're there for questions, you're there that women can send in their measurements, and it all comes in this beautiful packaging. You're going to love this beautiful black box with the logo and the, you're going to,
I've been explaining sizings to men that wanted to do gift for so many years that now I can understand anything.
Yeah. So that would be beautiful. So I want to make sure we give everyone the website. I want to tell them what the special that we have for them. And let me see if there's anything else. Oh, what is also important is to share the quality of the lace and the fabrics that you use. So I will tell just a quick story. I was at an event in Arizona, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. And this very well-known woman was there. And she was asking me about what I do. And we started talking about lingerie. And she was asking me about my lingerie at the time and some things that I had created. And I told her the price point, and she almost fell over. She said, "Oh my gosh, I can't even believe spending, $400 on a pair of panties." And I was like, "Really? Because this is what you're putting on your coochie, huh? Like, what are we going to put there?" To me, and I know I'm not trying to be vulgar. I'm trying to be like, I think we've been taught or we're afraid to invest in these kinds of pieces. And I really, for myself as a woman, this is the thing I am putting the closest to my body. It better be the highest quality, the most gorgeous lace, the most beautiful silk, the most pure fabric, because it's the most intimate thing that's close to me all the time, all day long. So not just from an expression of beauty, but like literally, this is on me everywhere. So the quality, the quality of this.
It's really important. I do think also there is no, like, I understand people can be frightened by the prices sometimes on pieces, but sometimes when they come in the atelier and I say, okay, so for the pattern, we do everything by hand. It's around 6 hours. If it's right, if it's not right, we have another 6 hours to add to that until it's right. We have like for one piece around 3 to 10 prototypes that are made before and then sizing. It's like for bra, it's 2 hours and a half of work. What do you deserve to be paid for 2 hours and a half in work? What do you deserve money being paid?
And it's an investment that lasts.
Are there?
Yes. And this is what I think it's important for us to talk about because again, there's no judgment, right? I mean, people get to buy whatever they want to buy. Of course, what we are talking about is a luxury lingerie brand. We are talking about a timeless classic piece that you can wear again and again and again. We're talking about an investment. It's much different than a production line of fast fashion where there's 85,000 pieces. It's just different, right? I don't want to say something's good or bad. It's just different. So the type of conversation we're having in the luxury market is the level of time that goes into the piece, the level of quality that each stitch each clasp, each piece of fabric is made with, but also something that you do that I find is extraordinary is you repair.
Yeah, we repair a lot because I think when you buy something luxury, when you buy something that costs money, it needs to, it is the bra job to live and last very long. So for 4 years, we repair freely. Like if you buy it 4 years after, you can come, we can ship it if you want. And we do, we change the elastic, we can enlarge, we can reduce, we change, even if you change like weight or anything, we can really like to a certain point. But we can really like adapt a lot during the years, so there's no problem. And because also you don't have anybody that can do that apart from us. You cannot go to the tailor. No tailor know how to do that. So it was really important for me. I started because like sometimes, so people have to think about washing their pieces. When you wash too hot, there's lycra in the pieces. There's elasticity, and elasticity. More you heat it, more it goes large. And it won't happen the first year, but if you wear it regularly and regularly and regularly, it's gonna enlarge a bit. And so you cannot do without it. It's like this. So we started like reducing the straps and like fixing the elastic. Also, there's a lot of ironing because
Yes.
people forgot that fabrics, more it's heated, more it's enlarged. So when you put steam on the bra and the fabrics goes back together. All those techniques, we learned it with the time and with my team, and we put it together. And sometimes it's a bit scary for people when I say, oh, you just iron your bra. You're going to see it's going to go back to new. So we started like showing how it works and everything and repairing. And also it gives you something you care about it. It's like,
Yes.
it's something special you bought for yourself. You need to take care of it. And if there's any problem, any issue, it's my job to repair it because like we are a human being making things. So sometimes it happens, like it can have a problem. And anyway, it's not your fault. We have to like figure out a way of fixing it. So it's just not wanting to throw away things. I believe like I don't want to throw the laundry away. I think we can always find solution to bring it back to its original state and to keep the quality. And also it's super informative for me because I can see how good my fabrics are
Yeah.
with the time. And French lace, it's like, it's crazy. It lives forever. If you're very good at washing by hand and you don't overheat it and anything, it can last. I have bras I've made in 2017 that are brand new. It's made with all the details we can and everything we think about how it can go better and better and better. And every time we also getting back pieces and repairing them helps us to design things smarter over the years because we're like, oh, this happens a lot. Let's change the way we're making it so it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And then we learn by doing that. So it's really a circle of good. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. Luxury, in any piece you buy, you want to keep it for a long time. So it's really important for me.
It's infused with so much love too. Do you know there's thought and emotion and love in each piece as well as the quality. So we're going to make sure all of this is in the show notes. So everyone, you can go to palomacasile.com, and Paloma's doing something very, very special for our audience. And I really want to express that this is very, very rare. So again, maybe you just even got an idea of the level of love and quality and time and all of this that's poured into the lingerie and each collection. So she is gifting the Elegant Femme community a special code, which we will make sure is here below, for 10% off the new collection. This is a huge deal, right?
We are also adding, because last time I didn't tell it, but we are adding, we designed a little bracelet in lace, specially made in Atelier, and we are adding it to all the orders.
I'm so excited for this. So I have one bracelet from you that I love. I want to see the lace one. I'm going to make sure that I order that and get my hands on it. These are gorgeous pieces. And again, Paloma is about like using everything, not having anything be wasted. So the extra fabrics that she has, she turns these into beautiful, gorgeous accessories that enhance the beauty and the vibration. So I cannot wait to see this bracelet. So this is going to be an additional gift. And if you choose to buy a piece from Paloma, we at Elegant Femme are actually gifting you a brand new program called Body Love. So again, talking about the conversation of intimacy between lingerie and between gifting ourselves permission, I'm creating a brand new program that I've never shared before that I will gift to you for free. And you're also going to get a very special sample of our brand new Toi perfume, which is taking a little bit of time because, again, just like Paloma and I were discussing, the quality of the ingredients and the jasmin, the tuberose, and the cashmere wood are all coming from Grasse. So they're coming from the south of France, and I will not compromise on the quality. So you will get that sample. Just be patient with me. So that we want to make sure it's done correctly and done beautifully. So this is the package that we wanted to come together and offer all of you that are really wanting to experience an additional level of beauty and conversation inside of yourself. So I'm so happy, Paloma. Thank you so much for this generous offer. I know some of my clients have already purchased some pieces from you, and I cannot wait to hear from them. I cannot wait to get the phone call when they get their package. I'm so excited.
All the package have left the atelier already.
Okay, I'll be waiting for my text.
Also, if you want to have it before Christmas, because it's holiday season, do not wait too long.
Yes. When do you think, Paloma, is the last date really to get the item before Christmas? And of course, there's always New Year's and there's Valentine's Day. So, right. But if we want it before Christmas, when do you think? I mean, obviously, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible, because the shipping at that time of the year is terrible. So it's like very long because there's more package going through, I think so. So maybe 8 or 10 days before.
Yeah.
Which is going to be like in a minute.
In a minute.
But there's New Year and there's Valentine's Day. And you can also gift yourself a Valentine's Day. You don't really need somebody to do you a gift. It's a love time. It's not always like, it can be the time for a gift for yourself.
Absolutely. So I'll make sure down below that we have your Instagram, that we have your website, and certainly we have the code for everybody. Just thank you so much for always being so generous with your time, with your knowledge. And I really do want to thank you, woman to woman, for everything that you're pouring into the lingerie, into all of your clients. Like, you're changing the world, Paloma. And I thank you. You are. I thank you for that.
So much. I'm doing my best, trying to do my best with the most love I can put in what I do. And I think it's wonderful to talk to you. I always feel it's so much good energy. You're giving me so beautiful vibes and all this. And it's such a pleasure to be there with you.
No. Well, thank you so much for being on the Beautiful Soul Led Life podcast. I love you. Je t'aime. Joyeuse fête.
Merci beaucoup.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Merci for listening to the Beautiful Soul Led Life podcast. I would love if this message served you, that you support it and share it with other women who might benefit from really having their lives in balance with their femme types. And if you can leave a comment, do a review. I love reading every single one of them. And I would adore if you could take a snapshot of yourself wherever you listen to this episode and post it on social media. My Instagram is elegantfemme1, and I'd love to see you, share you, and just celebrate with you as you are moving into creating, experiencing, and claiming your own beautiful soul-led life.